MJF says F this place following Tony Khan's comments. A WWE Star's debut could be getting pushed back by a year. And there's a new match planned for AEW Double or Nothing 2022. Find out what it is in a bit. So during AEW's Double or Nothing media call, Tony Khan was asked by Kenny McIntosh, the lovely Kenny McIntosh of Inside the Ropes.
A Scottish friend of mine.
Yeah, about MJF's current status, because things have been getting a little bit hairy up in there, haven't they?
It's like, is it a shoot? Is it a work? What is it?
You can never really tell with MJF.
He's constantly working, but also it's like, are you being serious, bro?
Yeah, you never quite know what he's going to do next, which is, I guess, that's what makes him such a compelling wrestler to watch.
It's what we've all want in wrestling for the past 10 years, and we're getting it.
And now we're like,
no, that's not what you're meant to do.
What do we do with this again? But yeah, he was asked about the MJF's current status with the company by Kenny, and Sean Ross Sapp tweeted out the reply saying that Tony Khan says wrestling thrives when off-screen conflict sometimes carries over on-screen. For MJF, this storyline has been an opportunity to air some real-life grievances. And then MJF, quote, retweeted this, saying, effing lol, F this place, man. And then he since deleted the tweet.
He did delete the tweet. Now, when I first saw his response to that, I took, there's two ways you can kind of take this, I think. Yeah. It's him being like, oh, come on, man, you've just revealed that it's a storyline.
Yeah.
Or him genuinely, again, being just annoyed that it's Tony Khan saying things that MJF, I guess it reflects on his character.
Yeah, I think it's we're never really gonna know until whatever happens, right? It's gonna be a guessing game until
18
then.
months.
And yeah, we've got 18 months of it, so it's gonna be probably ramping up as we get closer to that deadline day. So I think it's gonna get a little bit more wild.
If there's a lot of legitimacy to this, I imagine after his feud with Wardlow's done, we might not see him for a little bit. Just into as they butt heads.
A bit of cool off time or something.
Yeah, maybe, but we'll see. It was an interesting tweet that's obviously since been deleted.
Yeah, it sparked a lot of conversations online. So
who made the call to delete it? That's what I want to know.
Any more developments on this, we will keep you posted. We'll probably be back with a third video in a little bit. But moving over to the WWE side of the fence now, we have a debuting star, or a star that was set to debut.
Mega
and
star.
A huge deal has been made about this star debuting, and now it might not be happening for a full-blown. Yeah, it's Gable Steveson.
Oh, the legend that was hyped up through the past year of programming.
Yeah, amateur wrestling superstar came in, had the moment with, was it Riddle and Orton and the Street Profits?
And then he hit the belly to belly on the other Gable. Yeah. Because you can only have one.
So, Pioneer Press are reporting that Gable Stevenson's considering competing for one more year for the University of Minnesota's NCAA wrestling team before beginning his career in WWE. Apparently, he'd seemingly retired from amateur wrestling when he left his boots on the mat. But Minnesota coach Brandon Eggum has told Pioneer Press that talks for Stevenson's return are in preliminary stages, as Stevenson's interested in utilizing his final year of college eligibility. Eggum has said that Vince McMahon, however, would need to approve this, something which hasn't been formally discussed yet, apparently. Stevenson signed one of the new shiny NIL deals.
Yeah, the next in line name, image, and likeness deals, which is basically them just signing lots of collegiate athletes.
Yeah, and it gives WWE the rights to his image and all this stuff. So it's essentially WWE securing future prospects.
They own Gable Steveson.
So he signed that last year. The contract's set to become full-time following his college graduation. But he was drafted to the Raw brand on the 2021 draft and was introduced to the crowd, as we said, by Stephanie at WrestleMania. And then, we had all of
He also was at SummerSlam last year. He came out with his Olympic medal. He's waving.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, guys. I'm Gable. And then he made, obviously, WrestleMania. It'll be interesting to see if he appears on WWE programming again soon, now that we've had this little piece of news.
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
I think there's a couple of things you can do with it, because if he's going to continue wrestling at a collegiate level, I think that, that's obviously going to mean there was already like kind of a bit of a thing going on with the fact he's still in college, right? So he's having to work his WWE schedule around that. So maybe it won't be too big a deal, because if he's still able to make appearances, he may not be able to get physical or too physical. He might be able to lay some people out or whatever if he's like, there's no risk of him getting hurt.
Yeah, because that's the main thing.
But I think there's a few different things you could do with it. You could potentially like kayfabe injure him for a bit and sort of keep him on the side and have him pop up every now and then.
The only thing is, if they do that, they will want to promote how big of a deal he is.
Yeah,
I mean, like, okay, he's got a really bad injured knee, but he's off winning all these medals.
And that's the thing. So maybe what they could do instead, the other thought I had was they could surround him with a small security team, not like a big, stable Healy type thing, but he could have, because, they could make a big deal of the fact he's still going to wrestle at college level. He's still a superstar. I mean, you can't lay your hands on him. And,
he's a big deal, make him quite a heelish character. I mean, we had how many months of Vera's coming promos? I'm sure they can stretch this out until he finishes his extra year at college if he goes that way. But as it said, Vince McMahon would need to approve it, and I can't really see him.
I don't know. Vince was an amateur wrestler in his past. I think at school. So he may be sympathetic to it. And to be honest, if he goes out there and just wins for another year,
I guess you can't. It makes him a bigger deal.
It makes him a bigger deal. NCAA is a very big deal anyway. So it's potentially a win-win for the company, except with the small loss of like, not
he's not going to be on program.
Your
next Kurt Angle's not going to be on programming.
But moving over to the other side of the fence, we've got a bit of an update on an AEW injury, don't we, Fraser?
There's a slight one. Layla Hirsch took to Twitter and said that on the April 5th Dark Elevation, she suffered an injury. She said, after landing on my feet from a moonsault, I tore my ACL. Today I was finally able to get my surgery. Thank you to everyone for the support. I promise to come back an improved, leaner, meaner, and more legit athlete. Hopefully she'll be back in the ring soon. An ACL injury is not a fun one to have to go through. It's a very painful and serious injury.
And oh god, I couldn't even imagine that
landing
sort of
on from a moonsault and tearing it.
A ligament going.
Finally getting some surgery. Back on April 5th, that's a while she's been waiting for the surgery. I don't know whether they've been making sure
there
that
might have been some form of rehab going on and stuff, and really getting to the bottom of how it's going to be fixed. So I think that she's going to bounce back better than ever.
Absolutely. There's no time that we know that she'll be back. An ACL injury takes a long time to recover from.
It can take up to, I'm sure we've reported on them before, and it can take up to 9 months or something.
I think that's the injury that Edge had back in 2009, I want to say. So then it is a long one. Long injury, but hopefully she's back in the ring soon. Legit athlete, Layla Hirsch.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Moving over to Double or Nothing as well. Apparently AEW are not done adding matches to the show, and it was announced this week that Sting will not be traveling to Double or Nothing weekend after sustaining an injury, but his tag team partner Darby Allin will be. Now, Fightful have apparently spoken to sources who've indicated that a match was discussed for the Double or Nothing pay-per-view that would see Allin take on Kyle O'Reilly. O'Reilly was responsible for Pillmanizing Sting's leg inside of a chair. Gnarly on last week's Dynamite.
It's one of those spots that always gets you going like, oh.
Yeah, the last apparently that had been heard about it, the match was expected to be announced on Rampage. Darby Allin apparently noted on Twitter that he had a plan going into Sunday as well. AEW haven't officially announced anything, so it could very much end up changing. It could be on it, it might not be. They may do something where it's a bit of a spur of the moment. Unannounced match that happens. We've heard that
it's going to be a long night.
Well, we've heard this potential for if I don't even know if it's happening, but I remember reading something about if Game 7 happens.
Literally just
whatever that means in American sports. If Game 7 happens, then there might need to be extra matches put onto the card just to kind of
just to
give it a bit of
I think Tony Khan had said that he doesn't want the main event to start until Game 7 is over.
And
that
it makes sense.
Tips off at 9, likely to finish around midnight Eastern time, making it 5 a.m. UK time. Sam, I'm going to be knackered. I'm going to be so tired. So this could be one of those backup matches just to extend the run off the card. If not, it should be on there. It's quite a big match in terms of the names.
Yeah.
For sure. Maybe it'll get moved to Dynamite. We'll see.
I think, Darby Allin's one of the more popular stars they have. It makes sense to get him out there on pay-per-view. Get him,
the second biggest show of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get him on there.
Yeah.
Come on, Tony.
And do you want to finish off by telling us who's making a big old dirty return?
We will indeed. So during the final episode of the Table Talk podcast, WWE Hall of Famer Devon Dudley revealed he will start working as a coach in NXT from June the 15th. It's Devon.
I'm buzzing.
He's got the tables.
I'm buzzing for him.
He says, I start at NXT on June 15th, Devon said. He said that all his schedule and time with his kids are preventing him from continuing on with the podcast. So that was why it's the final episode of Table Talk. Devon has actually been working as a producer for WWE since 2016, but he has been out for many months due to health issues. He mentioned back in December that's what some of his health issues were, and then in February 2021 he said he was recovering from a stroke,
which is incredibly serious. So it's good to hear that he's fought back enough to be able to be in a training
much better
position,
place to be able to do that. Devon has a wealth of knowledge that I'm sure he will be able to impart.
The selling is about to go off the chain in NXT. I
can't wait. It's going to be good.
There's got to be some Devon sells happening in every match, please.
Oh, absolutely.
Please.
All the tag teams are going to really benefit from this.
God,
You'll really see the influence.
The wealth of knowledge he must have. The era he was working, the teams he worked against, the levels of stars and the size of the shows. Come on, Get the Tables is like one of the biggest, most over spots things ever.
Even the promos, just getting a catchphrase in there. I think testify.
Yeah, fingers crossed. It's going to lead to a lot of development for NXT in the tag division there, and a bit more refinement.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. It's Devon's great talent. I'm glad to see him in NXT.
He's awesome. Yeah, it's going to be class. But we may be back with a third news video a little bit later on today. Wherever you are, I hope you're having a wonderful one. The weather is it's hot and cold.
I've not been outside. Is it nice?
it's hot with a breeze.
Ooh.
But yeah, enjoy your day. Stay safe, and we might see you in a bit.
See you later.